Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into a Monday edition of the JP Peterson Show. What a weekend we had this weekend for championships and big stories. Man, I don't know where to begin, whether it's the NBA champions, definitely not. The NHL champions, maybe. The Rays, not a wonderful weekend. The fights at the White House last night, I might start there. That was unbelievable. You want to talk about a spectacle. That may have been. And then Team USA on Friday night. Holy shizbang. Man, what a weekend it was. Timmy, I hope you enjoyed all. Well, I know you didn't watch a lick of soccer.
Wait. Or did I?
What? No.
Or did I?
Did you go somewhere and enjoy the festivities?
Oh, hell no. That was not ever going to happen. I'm not mixing and mingling with a bunch of soccer fans. Not doing that. However.
That had its ups and downs on Riveters on Friday. I will detail. Yes.
I can only imagine. Can't wait for those stories. But no, I might have partaken of some World Cup soccer, maybe a lot of World Cup soccer.
Get the fudge out of here. Really? Wow.
Yeah, man. I am trying. Okay. And USA, I watched USA in I don't know why they keep calling it Paraguay. It's Paraguay. Okay. This is America. We say things the right way.
Paraguay.
It's Paraguay. Just like it's
Yes.
Iran, not Iran. That's neither here nor there. But and look, I'm giving it, and I think I do this every year for the World Cup because I can see myself, JP, getting into soccer on the national level. I don't know that I could ever become a fan of like a club team or my local MLS. I just don't care. To me, it's still an extremely boring sport.
Well, MLS compared to the other stuff is really not comparable. To be quite honest.
I get it. Yeah.
Jeff might like me saying that, but I think that might be true. But yeah, I think there's a lot of interesting things that we could talk about today that might not be on the hyper local level as we normally do. But I think they're all very interesting. What does this tell us about the NHL, about what the Lightning need to do, about how close the Lightning are to winning a championship? And I think we'll have that discussion today vis-a-vis watching Carolina win last night. The team that, I think every time the Lightning played them this year, I kind of got that, in a 7-game series, I think that may be the only team I'm not sure we could beat. Because when we played them, they suffocated us pretty good. If we're being right. And we could start right there because it is kind of Lightning adjacent. But we're going to get into all of it. So sit back and enjoy comments. As you know, guys, you can do that on X. You can do that on Facebook. You can do that on YouTube. Please like and share. Every time you watch a show, if you could share it on your socials, we'd really appreciate it. That extends the reach.
Numbers are big right now, and it's all because of you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a good few months. By the way, if you'd like to advertise, JP at the JPPetersonShow.com. We have a new director of marketing and advertising and promotions. The lovely Ashley has now been elevated to vice president of all that, Timmy. So
nice.
Direct all your advertising to me, and I'll forward it on to her. She'd much rather talk to her than you will me. Trust me on that deal. Yeah. So let's begin right there, because obviously it was a big week for the Lightning with Kuch getting the Hart Trophy, the Vezina going to Vasilevsky, and finally the Jack Adams going to John Cooper. And as I'm watching the games last night, I'm like, Vegas, yeah, we could hang with Vegas. They got to the finals. I thought Tortorella did a masterful job of elevating that team. And it's interesting when you keep it simple, right? And I think that's what Tortorella did. He came in and said all the right things, did all the right things, pushed all the right buttons, and got him within a couple games of winning a cup, which I think is maybe even a bigger story than what happened with Carolina, because Carolina has always been on the verge. We've been talking about Carolina. I don't know for how long, Timmy, have we talked about Carolina. And I want to say this. For all their playoff failures, I think that's a fair word, for all their playoff failures, they did something that few teams do. They stuck with their coach.
Mm-hmm.
They stuck with Ron Brindamore, and I think that was the key. I think hockey teams do way too much coach retreading, hopping. And I think you look at the success of Carolina and Tampa Bay as reason one why when you get a good coach, you stick with them. Like if I'm the Canadians, I'm not if they were to have a down year next year, I'm not getting rid of Marty St. Louis. He just fits that. I mean, I grew up there. He's, Canadians through and through, except for his professional experience, obviously, but he won a cup. He's a cup winning player. He relates to the players. They play hard for him. He's learning. He's got a learning on the job, and he's got a hell of a team right there and a great young team. Don't screw it up by getting frustrated because they lose 8 in a row. Because you see that all the time. A team will lose 8 in a row and they'll just dump the coach. But I think Tortorella came in and did a really, really nice job. But Brindamore, I think, he won a cup there. He's that for a franchise that has very little tradition, right? And that's 2 cups in 20 years, Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver.
A team
Edmonton,
in Carolina,
Calgary,
by the way.
in North Carolina. Another, quote, Sunbelt Stanley Cup, right?
Yeah.
It's just – and I think that's good for the league. I think that's good for the league that you don't have the original 6 or original whatever or the marquee franchises winning it every year and dominating. I think that's good. I think the NHL has as much parity as any league there is. And I think that's great for the league because it keeps everybody involved. Listen, now Carolina was, you may not remember this, but they were the favorite going into the year. They were a plus 650 favorite going into the season, the number one favorite of many, which I totally forgot. And then, of course, going into the playoffs, the Avs with their 121-point regular season were the odds-on favorite going into it, but Carolina was the second choice to win the cup. So there were, as many of us thought, it's a bit of a surprise, but it's really not. They've been knocking on the door for a long time, and obviously the addition of Ehlers was key. They had always been missing that guy that could score the big goal, that could be creative, and make the and Ehlers did that with the kind of the first goal of this series and set the tone, and had some big goals and late. And Stahl was just an absolute moose and wagon in front of the net, their captain. So it had a lot of really good pieces. But when I look at the Lightning, I see a lot of really, really good pieces. And now you've got a couple of players on the way that may not be too far away that could join this team in a supporting role as Kucherov and these other veterans age. And I say, wow, that's a nice mix. That's a nice mix that they're going to have moving forward. I mean, why did they not get out of the first round this year? To me, clearly they just did not score enough goals. And they did. I did not think they played with the desperations in games 1 through 5 that they played in games 6 and 7. And when you do that, you leave yourself open for losing a game 7 when you give up just 9 shots and have 2 bad bounce goals go in. They just, for whatever reason, they could not put the puck in the net. Braden Point was just not himself. Kucherov was not, and he was okay, but he's got to be better. If they're going to do anything in the playoffs, he just does. He's got to fight through it and be better. And he was not. Vasi, I think, played tremendously well. You give up 16 goals in a series, you should win that. In a 7-game series, you should win that series. Especially if you're Lightning. Was the number 2 scoring team in the league. Where did the scoring touch go? And you go back, and I go back and look at some of those games and some of my notes from those games, and I'm like, oh, missed opportunities. I mean, how many times? I mean, I would put Gensel in that list. I would put Point in that list. Lots of opportunities they had that they just didn't finish around the net. And I didn't think they got greasy enough in front of the net. They didn't have a stall to just sit there like a big old loop and just knock pucks in. I think they need a bigger net front presence, especially in the playoffs. That I don't think they had enough. They had a little, but not enough, in my opinion. So there's tweaks to this team that the Lightning can make to become the Carolina Hurricanes. But there was no question. There was a resolve and leadership of that team, that Carolina team, Timmy. They play with a lot of energy, and they do not give you any time and space. When they play the Lightning, they are just on you. And it reminds me a lot of the 2 cup teams that the Panthers had.
Yeah.
Very similar.
Physical. Yeah.
Very fit, but not only just physical, but just on you all the time. Like you can't breathe. And I think in that environment is where Cooch really kind of struggles. He needs space to operate. And when you take away his time and space constantly, he's not as good a player. And I think you could say that about any player, quite frankly. But, Cooch is otherworldly. He's the best player in the game, by the Hart trophies, by the Lindsey trophies that he's won over the last few years. I mean, you could say that and people go, oh, you're out of your mind. You look at the numbers and there it is.
Supports it.
Yeah. And he's got 2 cups, by the way. And now those are different teams, obviously, different situations. But this team, I don't think you look at the Lightning and go, oh, man, they're so far away from the Carolina Hurricanes. They're not. They're right there.
No, but I think they're 2 completely different teams, too. Like, I don't even know that you can, if you're going to ask how close is Tampa Bay to Carolina, I don't think they're close, but it's because it's a different type of system. Like, when I think Carolina Hurricanes, I think system first, sort of wave after wave attack, relentless forechecking, like we talked about, being physical, their defensive structure, but they've also got some speed and they have a lot of depth. When I think Tampa Bay, I'm thinking more sort of skill, star players they count on more. Does that mean one's right and the other's not? Well, no, it's who gets hot in the playoffs. I don't care what your system structure is. And we know from watching them all year and in past years that Tampa Bay is really close, and that's why they're keeping the core of this thing together. They're not that far away. Just like every year, I feel like the team that's the hottest entering the playoffs is the team that wins the cup. That's just how it is most of the time. Most of the time, that's the case. And look how Carolina ran through the postseason with 1 loss until they got to the finals. Right? I mean, that tells you everything you need to know right there.
Yeah, and I think that's where the Lightning could learn a little bit from them to get away from, our good friend Evan Klosky did a great piece on this about the identity of the Lightning. How I think it was like getting beaten by the Panthers and getting physically beaten by them. I think the feeling was we're not going to take that anymore, right? We're going to show everybody's going to come at us. They're going to try to do what the Panthers did. So we have to fight that. And I think that's right. But I also think maybe we lost our identity in a little bit in that we were too busy trying to fight and show how physical we were and kind of lost the art of and skill of the game of putting the puck in the back of the net. And in the end, I think that's what cost us. And I don't think it's hard to get. I think you can do both. And I think Carolina showed that. But again, do I look at Carolina and go, wow, they're so physical? No, I just think they're determined and they're like hornets, like a hornet's nest coming after you. It's just, I mean, they're not the biggest birds in the world, but they're going to sting you and it's going to hurt, and they're just all over you. And I don't say, ooh, that was a big hit. No, they're just on you. And you have no time and space. And I think that's something that the Lightning did really well in games 6 and 7 against Montreal, exceptionally well in game 7, 9 shots.
Yeah.
So, I think that's a more of a style of play that the Lightning need to get back to. All right. The Knicks championship. And I watched almost every one of these games. And what struck me is how talented San Antonio is and how god awful they are at playing playoff basketball.
Talk about a team not ready for the postseason. Good Lord.
mean, I saw Wemby do things in the clutch at times that just made me just shake my head. Like, does he not know he's 7'5"? There was a play late. It was 2 minutes left. I think San Antonio had the lead, and Brunson leaves his defender away like 10 feet from the top of the key. So he's coming to the middle. He's already beaten his defender. And Wemby's on the baseline guarding, what's his face? Robertson. And he can't put the ball in the hoop at all. And he's got him on the baseline. He's almost behind the goal, the basket. And when Brunson breaks free, he doesn't come to the middle. Like, and leave you. Usually, you don't want to leave your guy, but that guy you can leave.
Yeah.
If Brunson can get a pass around your arms and nobody comes to help, then that's on somebody else. Then your number one job is to protect the paint. And here comes 6'1" Brunson down the middle, and nobody goes to him. Nobody, because I think the other one, you got to stay on the shooters. I get that. But Wemby's got to challenge Brunson in the middle, and he ends up doing like a 4-foot floater in the middle of the key. If Wemby steps up and tries to block that shot, there's no way he gets it off. And I'm like, and then there was another key rebound on a free throw where Wemby is not even facing the basket. He's blocking a guy out with his chest facing out instead of just, blocking a guy out with his ass at 7'5". Just block him out and concentrate on the ball. Nobody's getting the ball. Nobody's jumping over you to get the ball. If they're going to get a ball like that, they're going to have to foul you. And the fundamentals of the game just absolutely evaporated for San Antonio when they had the 29-point lead. I mean, that is a young, talented, really talented team, but they are dumb.
The Knicks trailed by double digits in every one of their wins.
Yeah. That's just playing dumb basketball.
Yeah. So
I don't want to, take anything away from Brunson, who was just absolutely virtuoso. I mean, in that moment, this whole Villanova connection is really something.
Crazy.
It's really something. I mean, you want to talk about guys that know how to win and play smart basketball. They are the absolute epitome of that. And sometimes that's not flashy. And, and they don't get all the headlines like LeBron and KD and Harden did for so many years and the blah, blah, blah. All these two guys do is just play good, solid basketball. They play really good, solid basketball. They play hard. And I respect that. I respect that. So, I love the Knicks winning a championship. I think it's good for the game. Obviously, it wasn't good for the city of New York, and we knew that was coming, right?
Oh my God!
The tomfoolery that, and boy, wait till Thursday when the parade and the what do they call that? The Canyon of Canyon of Heroes.
Yeah, what's the over under on deaths for the parade?
Yeah, it's ugly, but I thought it was an interesting series, and I didn't think the Knicks were going to win Game 5 because Game 6, the gate would have been $168 million. Remember, we did the math on that.
Yeah.
$168 million, but 20,000 people times $9,000 a ticket. I mean, my Lord, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, but
ridiculous.
Dolan's a rich guy, and he finally, imagine how vilified that guy's been over the years, and finally gets a championship.
My gosh, yeah.
I mean, nobody's going to be. I don't think the nation is happy to see the Knicks win, but
who's definitely not. Story. Who's definitely not happy to see the Knicks win, JP? That's the city of Dallas. I don't know if everybody around the country realizes this, but the Dallas Mavericks drafted Luka Doncic and Jalen Brunson in the same draft, and had
that was the same draft
in the same draft.
Wow!
And had both of them. And there's a lot of people hating on the Mavericks right now. And look, I don't know that a lot of people predicted that Jalen Brunson would turn into a Finals MVP. I certainly knew there was talent there. We saw the talent there, and I think Luka was a better player when he had Brunson with him because then he didn't have to run the point as much.
Right.
And Brunson is clearly better at that. But I can also remember when Brunson signed with the Knicks, the amount of backlash the Knicks got at what a horrible move this was for $27 million a year. This guy will never put them over the top. It does not make them a playoff team. These are all things I heard from the national media when Brunson signed. And I'm over here in Dallas thinking, God, I would have loved to have kept him here because we saw what he could do.
Yeah.
And there was no chance of him re-signing with the Mavericks because his dad was coaching in New York, and that's where he wanted to go play. So
what a great amount of money that was, huh?
Yes, that was amazing. That was cool. And look, I love Jalen Brunson. I kind of sports hate him because he didn't want to come back to Dallas. So you got to have a little bit of sports hate if you're in Dallas. And nobody likes the Knicks, right? Outside of New York, I can't imagine any city center, any city fan base likes the Knicks or likes to see them win anything. I loved that the city was in misery. I love when the city of New York doesn't win a World Series or an NBA title or a Super Bowl or a Stanley Cup. I love that. But if you want storylines and you want drama, there's no better story in sports this year than the Knicks winning the title.
Yep. I would agree with that. You guys want to comment on that jump in here. Kurt Thorson says every time Wemby ran or jumped, I feared his two big legs would snap.
Oh my gosh,
he's not human. Call the Men in Black.
It's like watching Sean Bradley back in the day.
But you know what? That dude gets knocked around and he never gets hurt.
He's tough. He is tough.
Yeah, I didn't realize, he went out of the game with 5 minutes to play in an elimination game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what are we doing?
Well, I'll tell you what happened.
You got to finish. What happened?
No, I agree, but I'll tell you what happened. He was not playing his game. The Knicks were in his head. And don't forget, this is a 22-year-old kid we're talking about.
Yeah.
And you could tell it in the post-series press conference, the way he was acting, it reminded you, this is a kid. He is immature. He does not know how to maintain his composure. And he was going off during the game, not in a good way, but he was not emotionally or mentally in the game at that point. And the coaching staff realized that. He's going to hurt us right now more than he's going to help us.
Yeah,
that's why they took him out.
That might be true. But also I'm like, look, you ain't winning this series anyway. These are growth moments. You can't grow on the bench. Maybe you can. Maybe you need to sit and watch a little bit. But I can see that. And they're way closer to it than we are. But just taking him off the field, off the court on that moment was a little iffy to me. Bucks Basement says, I just like that in 1 week and a 50-year drought and a 20-year drought are gone with championships for the Knicks and Canes, and the Rays and Lightning still can't get out of the first round. Always bring it. It's true though. Alejandro says, good morning, JP and Timmy. While we did lose the series to the Angels, at least we didn't get swept, and we are 3-3 versus them this season. Let's hopefully take 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers, and let's go Rays. It'll be interesting because I think Big O talks about this. We talk about this a lot on his show. This Rays team doesn't get up for the bad teams. They're not hyper-focused for the last place teams, but when they play a rival like Boston, who may also be a last place team, but they play a rival, Yankees, Red Sox. Let's see how much better they play at Dodger Stadium against the Dodgers. I bet they'll play their best. And that's something they need to grow from because you got to bring that every freaking game. And they just, their at bat seem to be just a little less hyper-focused maybe, but we'll see. I love watching games at Dodger Stadium, so it'll be cool. Chris Cole said I didn't watch either one. I think there's an apathy, obviously, when the Lightning aren't playing. I bet the ratings aren't big here in Tampa, and the NBA ratings in Tampa are among the worst of the major markets.
Are they?
So, yeah. Buck Spaceman said, do you think the Bucks are back to being the worst of the teams in Tampa sports? Interesting question. For a while, we had relevancy and cared about winning. Now it seems like we're back to Bucks being the worst. Well, in terms of, in the short term playoffs, obviously the Rays haven't gone in a while. They're in first place or were in first place, but they haven't gone to the playoffs in a while. 2 years, 3 years now. It's been a while. And the Lightning, of course, keep flaming out, but the Bucks were, going to the playoffs every year and missed it by one game this year. So I don't know. It kind of feels like it's all a little, I don't know if mediocre is the word, but it's not Tampa Bay. That's for damn sure. I think of which team's the closest to winning a championship, I think it's still the Lightning. And I'll and we'll do this right before the break because I thought this was interesting. Joe Bucks fan had an interesting article and said NBC Sports Patrick Doherty on the Ringer exercise, a coach's draft. And so they did a coach's draft in the NFL, who's the best coach, who would you draft? And despite Doherty selecting Bowles at number 27, that's fifth worst for those playing at home. Doherty tried to make the point that Bowles isn't a bad coach and may even be improved. But the bottom line is, if you're ranking coaches, where do you think Todd Bowles ranks?
In the whole league?
Yeah.
Out of 32, I'd put him.
This particular poll had him at 27.
Dude, I was just about to say like 25, 26.
And when you're drafting, so if you're drafting, you got 4 or 5 guys, I guess, what they did in this particular. I mean, he gets down to number 27. And this is the thing, we talked a lot about the Baker contract, right, last week. And I want to mention this today because there Rick Stroud did an article over the weekend that kind of laid out all the numbers. And I think people in Tampa Bay, when you say, Baker Mayfield's a $50 million quarterback, they laugh.
Yeah.
Because number one, we have to readjust what a $50 million quarterback is. The cap has gone up $100 million in 4 years, 5 years. So you have to, that's basically 40% where it was, and 33%. And so you have to adjust what you're thinking. So basically, if you're thinking 4 or 5 years ago, would he be a $30 million, $35 million quarterback? So it's you got to adjust your thinking when you would start thinking about, is he a $50 million quarterback? What you need to do is just look at the rankings. And right now he's 15th highest, 16th highest paid quarterback in the league. He's better than that. By how much? I think it's the bottom line is, if you sign a guy as your franchise quarterback now, like he's your starter, you're going to sign him to an extended contract for a 5-year deal. The going rate is now going to be about $55 million, unless you're Patrick Mahomes, then it's $65 million. So he's not in that tier, clearly, but he's in the next tier, which is the Brock Purdy's, et cetera. I think he's better than Brock Purdy.
Oh, my God,
but but that's what these guys are getting. Look at Daniel Jones, et cetera, et cetera. So the number for Baker Mayfield right now is about, I think the right number is about $55 million. Spotrac has it about $54 million. I don't think the Bucs are offering near that much. That's my thought.
What do you think that so-called low ball offer was?
Probably
like in the 30s?
No.
It's not that low ball, right?
He's making 41 this year. So I think they probably offered him, I think the problem AAV is probably around 45. But it's a guaranteed money. It's a guaranteed money that you look at.
Yeah.
So what was the guaranteed money? Was it 130? Was it 160? I think he probably wants 200 guaranteed, and maybe the Bucs are offering 130, 140.
That's a low ball. Yeah.
Then that would be kind of a low ball, being he's 31 years old and he plays with a reckless abandon that, I think you're more comfortable signing like Matthew Stafford's 38 now.
Mm-hmm.
So when he was 31, I'd be much more comfortable signing him because he never got injured. Very rarely got injured, right? He's a durable quarterback. He plays from the pocket for the most time. He gets rid of the ball. Baker doesn't do that. So there's a little bit of a risk here. And I think that's where it's going to come down to. The Bucs are afraid to offer maybe 180, 190, maybe 200 guaranteed because they're afraid he's going to get hurt the way he plays. I think Bowles, in his comments to Rick Stroud last week, or on that article, talked about that. And they want to see him, be a little bit more judicious and not taking hits. But that's a dangerous game you're playing. Yeah. Because that's his game. You're taking away the essence of who Baker Mayfield is. In a way, it's a very thin line, right, between reckless and aggressive when you need to be. And I think that's where the Bucs want him. They want him only be aggressive when you need to be. But again, it's really hard to turn that light switch on and off in the middle of a play when you're just trying to win for your team and you want to win so badly. The biggest dynamic change, and I've talked about this, I see in Baker Mayfield, and I see it in the way he has conducted himself, not, and even what he said and how he said it. You go look at that interview, that's not the same mindset Baker Mayfield all in with the team every bit as he was in the past 3 years, in my opinion. It was, I'm taking care of my business now. I'm going to play my ass off, as I always do, but you guys want to be about business? You want to be about business and hedge your bets on me and hedge your bets on Todd Bowles and keep him around? And this is the crux of it for me. Why in the hell would Mike Evans, I know I might be repeating myself, but I don't think people are seeing this or don't want to talk. No, nobody wants to say it. And I hate saying it. I hate saying it, but nobody wants to say it out loud in the media because they don't want to piss off the Bucs or piss off Todd Bowles. I get it. But to me, the reason that if you look at Mike Evans and Baker Mayfield, what are those two guys? How would you describe them in terms of their motivation? They want numbers. Are they playing for money? No, they're playing for championships. I think to some degree Mike's playing a little bit legacy, but he wants to
especially at their age, right?
Yeah, they want to win another Super Bowl for Mike. And Mike Baker wants to validate himself by winning a Super Bowl. He wants to be a Super Bowl winning quarterback. And when you're an organization like the Bucs and you stand pat because either you don't want to pay Todd Bowles off or you want him around, you like him so much you want to keep him around, whatever it is, the record suggests that he should have been fired. That's all. I'm looking at precedent across the league. Guys with way more decorated resumes are getting fired. Tony Dungy got fired.
Yeah.
John Gruden got fired. I mean, their numbers were hella better than Todd Bowles on every level. And you look at this, you look at every one of these coaching, rank the coaches thing. Todd Bowles always ranks in the bottom third. Always. That's his national perception. And I think if you watch him coach here, if you went to Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans and you asked them point blank and they had to, when you had the on a lie detector, do you think Todd Bowles can win you a Super Bowl? They'd say no. Do you think Todd Bowles can outcoach the elite coaches for 4 games in the playoffs, 3 or 4 games in the playoffs? No, I don't believe that. I think he's a 500 coach. That's what he is, which, in the world rankings, that's pretty – to be an NFL head coach and be able to be 500 is a hell of an accomplishment. Like, there's not many people on the planet that can do it, just in terms of, how you are. But when you're in this profession, you're average of the elite coaches, because that's what this is, but you're just average. You're 500. That's who you are. Your record is what it says. And that's just his record here. If you throw in the Jet stuff, well, I mean, it's way below 500, way below 500.
Yeah.
So when I say he's a 500 coach, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt just here in Tampa Bay. But if he was, so great of a coach that could win you a Super Bowl, his overall 8-year record would be a hell of a lot better. Compare it, with McDermott. Compare it with Harbaugh, guys that got fired. Not even freaking close. So if Baker Mayfield is all about business now, it's because, your organization right now is just not serious about winning. If you're going to keep a 500 coach around, you're not serious about winning. And I think Baker's more than happy now to say, I'll play out my contract, and if you guys want to go get a new coach, now listen, if they make a nice run this year, things could change. If Todd Bowles proves to me he can win 2 playoff games, then maybe it changes. And I hope he does. Lord, I'm not wishing against him. I hope he does. For God's sakes, I hope he does. And I'm rooting for him because I love the dude. He's a great guy. But if we're being objective here, it ain't there. It's just not. Every poll you see is going to show you that. And I'm not saying you make decisions based on media polls. That's not what I'm saying. But the preponderance of the evidence suggests this guy is not an elite NFL coach. You know who is, I think? Kyle Shanahan. And I think that's why Mike's in San Francisco, because he believes that that coach and that organization is about winning now. And I think if Baker Mayfield has his druthers next year, his ass would be wearing what? A Rams uniform.
Yeah.
Without question, because that organization is about winning now. And they have coaches, both of those organizations have coaches where I think if you get on this list, they're both going to be hired in 27. Right? They're going to be in the top 5.
Immediately, yeah.
Immediately. So this is something that nobody wants to say out loud because we all love Todd as a human. He's a great dude, and we're rooting for him. But to me, the reason that Baker Mayfield is now in full business mode is because Todd has proven to him what I'm saying, that he's a 500 coach. And Mike Evans would tell you what, 4th and 28, 3rd and 14. He's done with that. He's leaving for way less money to leave his home that he loves, that he wanted to be a Buck forever. So, it is what it is. And I think that's the situation that the Bucs are in right now. And I don't think that necessarily means you can't win a Super Bowl. But to me, I don't think the vibe is what it used to be.
Right.
I just, like last year, I thought they were all in Super Bowl contenders. We were hoping, and we said before the season, my biggest question mark is how this team gets managed, how the games are managed, how it's coached. That's the winning. This roster, I thought that roster was good enough to win a Super Bowl. And yeah, they got wrecked on the offensive line. That's not Todd's fault. And yeah, they had a first-year offensive coordinator that I thought did a good job in the beginning of the year. But as teams got film on the Buccaneers, his weaknesses were exposed as an offensive coordinator, and they were exposed as an offense with an offensive line, especially in the interior, that could not hold up and were exploited and such.
Yep.
So I hope for the best this year. I think this is an exciting roster, and I think Baker's going to play his ass off. But I still think that, there's that overarching albatross that's going to be with this team. Is this coaching staff elite enough to go up against the best in the business and win and outfox them? I don't think so, but I could be wrong. And I hope I am wrong, by the way. Very much so. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back and get to comments. We got so much to get to. I really want to get to the soccer stuff because it was really, that was impressive. That for terms of what USA has done in the past, that was a whole different deal. So we're going to get to that. I have a movie review today.
Uh-oh. Did you go see He-Man and Masters of the Universe?
I saw Day of Disclosure.
What is that?
The new Steven Spielberg movie.
Oh, Disclosure.
Disclosure. Maybe I didn't pronounce that.
Well, you said Day of Disclosure. That confused me when you put the Day of. Or
Day of Disclosure, isn't it? Or
Disclosure? It's just called Disclosure.
Is it? Okay. No, whatever. Or Disclosure Day, whatever it is. Anyway, I'll give you a review on that. And we got some stadium stuff as well to get to, and all kinds of fun stuff that happened over the weekend. I was at a great hockey tournament as well up in Wesley Chapel. The Lightning Warriors were part of. Really, really cool deal. Hey, we are brought to you by the great folks at Genesis of Tampa, our first hour presenting sponsor, Genesis of Tampa and pitchroofing.com. Two great folks. Genesis of Tampa, where I got my new GV70, the midsize SUV that everybody's talking about. The performance is off the chain. The price, the value in this car is incredible. All the Genesis line is fantastic. Go take a test drive out there at Genesis of Tampa. They are making deals, giving you lots of money for your trade. And pitchroofing.com, they are the folks that you need to talk to. Just schedule that free consultation. They'll come out, take a look at your roof, inspect it for free, let you know if you got any damage, and then give you the rundown, how much life you got left. And if you get damaged during a hurricane, you'll know who is your roofer. Pitchroofing.com. Back in 3. Pitch Roofing believes giving back is part of doing business the right way. That's why they proudly offer exclusive discounts to those who gave the most to our communities, including veterans, first responders, seniors, and teachers. And for listeners of the JP Peterson Show, there's even more good news. Pitch Roofing is now offering a special discount just for fans of the show. With so many roofing companies coming and going in Florida, it's important to choose a contractor you can count on long after the job is done, especially when it comes to honoring your warranty. Pitch Roofing is built for the long haul with a reputation for quality, transparency, and standing behind their work. Whether it's a repair or a full replacement, their team delivers honest guidance, quality workmanship, and no high-pressure sales. Call 727-67-PITCH, 727-677-4824, or visit pitchroofing.com to schedule a free estimate.
Pitch Roofing, roofing done right.
Big thanks to Italiano Insurance, the great folks over there. They will soon be part of Gallagher Insurance. A little name change, but same great folks, same great customer service you've known for over 65 years. They do all the work. You save all the money. ItalianoInsurance.com at 813-877-7799. Hey, guys, you already know that Riveters is the best sports bar in all of Tampa Bay, but now it gets even better for Rays baseball season. During all Rays games, check this out, $6 Tito's, $6 Jack, $6 margaritas, all during Rays games. Are you kidding me? And that's always a great pour from the great bartenders at Riveters. Great service, great food, everything is fresh, nothing is frozen. And let me tell you, if you want baseball and wings, you will not find any better than Riveters. Their sauces, like the blue cheese and the ranch and everything, is handmade, and the wings are big and they're perfect. Wings, baseball, Rays, Riveters. It all comes together during baseball season. Once again, in addition to all the great food and service, you get $6 Tito's, $6 Jacks, $6 margaritas. It's time to celebrate. Baseball season is back, and celebrate at Riveters. You know where it is, right there on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of the stadium. See you there at Riveters. Hey, the Golden Diamond Source wants to be your family jeweler, so don't wait any longer to find that one-of-a-kind perfect engagement ring for that special someone in your life. At the Golden Diamond Source, they can design anything you want personally. The Golden Diamond Source can help you trade in your old broken jewelry and use it towards a new purchase as well. And with gold prices at record high, now is the best time to do it. They only sell natural diamonds at the Golden Diamond Source, so if it's a real love, it should be a real natural diamond. Don't start your relationship with a fake diamond. Bad idea. And with the Golden Diamond Source first-time buyer program, you can learn all about the 4 C's in all the different shapes and styles. And they are able to show you a huge selection of inventory to choose from. And don't forget, 0% financing for up to 5 years. If you finance $5,000, it's only $83 a month. Make sure it's a Golden Diamond Source diamond, 3800 Almerton Road, always online at goldendiamond.com.
It's a love you give only at Golden Diamond Source.
Hey, JP here for Genesis of Tampa and the Murphy Auto Group. I think the best way to experience a business is to use that business. And I just did at Genesis of Tampa. Just bought a GV70, a 2023, and it feels and drives all new. It's an absolutely fantastic car. The technology, the comfort, and the price, absolutely outstanding. Frankly, I never thought I could get into a car like this, but they made me a deal I could not refuse. And I also get the VIP service where you can just drive right up, their pit stop service. They'll top off all the fluids, make sure your air in your tires is good, new wipers if you want them. If you need extended service, they will come to you, bring you a courtesy car, and then bring your car back. What more do you want? The experience was just VIP all the way. And you can get that at Genesis of Tampa. And don't forget, you can get extended warranty, which I did. So I have worry-free miles up to 100,000, and all they do is just take it in. Actually, I don't have to take it in. They come to me. It's perfect. It's Genesis of Tampa right there, 801 East Bears Avenue, right off of 275. Go see them and tell them JP sent you.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here on this very eventful Monday. Big weekend. We'll get to all your comments here in just a second. Big thanks to the folks at Riveters. We were there on Friday night for the USA World Cup, and man, what a scene. The American Outlaws Tampa Bay chapter were there. A lot of red, white, and blue was absolutely packed. The wings were awesome. The hazy IPA was fantastic, and the vibe was, it was spot on, man. Spot on. A couple of annoying people there, but for the most part, it was fantastic. So go check out Riveters for all your World Cup action. It's not just Team USA. If you're into Scotland, if you're into Argentina, if you're into Brazil or whatever, it's a great vibe. They know their World Cup soccer there, and they got great food, and the energy is great. So check out Riveters for all that. And, of course, your Rays watch parties as well, where they have $6 Tito's, $6 Jacks, $6 margaritas for all Rays games, and the great Riveters food and service. Riveters, just north of 275 on Dale Mabry, just south of the stadium. All right, what do we want to get to next here? Let's get to some of your great comments, and then I want to talk a little Team USA. So if you're up with a comment for Team USA, you can pop it in now, and we'll get to those.
USA.
Actually, I want to hear your story, Timmy. Like, what got you transformed into watching World Cup? You actually watched it at home too, huh?
Yeah,
because I can see you using the excuse to go out and have go to a fun bar and everybody's having a good time.
Right.
But you don't watch the game.
Yeah.
So I'm even more impressed that you watched it at home.
Well, number one, I can't associate with soccer fans. I just can't do it. Not in a public setting. I can't be associated with that type of person. It might ruin my reputation as a sports fan. No, I'm just kidding. But
no. There, Ashley commented on that as well. It's a unique bunch. It's not your usual.
No.
Fair.
I don't understand the scarves. Why everybody wears a scarf? If you're a soccer fan, you have to wear a scarf. I don't understand that.
Yeah, when it's 90 degrees out, that's really not working here.
I don't get it. But no. So clearly, I've got just a natural interest in Team USA. And again, like I said, I enjoy Olympics. I enjoy international play of most sports. I'm out on pretty much all summer Olympic games, and I don't even really care about soccer during the Olympics for some reason. I mean, maybe women's soccer because they're good.
Yeah.
But the
we have
men's
a chance
team
to win.
Yeah, the men's team just hasn't done anything. And
No, I get it.
I heard a lot of the hype, especially as the host country, and not a lot of it was good. But after the US, so we had on Saturday, Colby and I on our show, we had a guy from Sports Radio 610 down in Houston come on and talk soccer with us. We actually did a soccer segment with a guest. Like, that's a first.
Wow.
Yeah,
Look at you growing in your culture. Wow.
In 6 years that we've been doing that stupid show, that's the first soccer segment I think we had, and with a guest, no less. But I don't know. He sort of piqued my interest a little bit, because USA and Paraguay had already played, and he was real high on Team USA based on that win. And so I just thought, over the weekend, I'm sitting at my desk. I always have 2 TVs on in my room, by the way, in my office, so I can watch 2 things at one time. There was no IndyCar this week. The UFL championship had already been played. I really didn't have a lot of interest in that with Louisville and DC going on. There just wasn't a lot to watch. So I thought, I'm going to tune into some soccer.
Okay.
And none of it was USA. I think I watched Brazil and somebody. I mean, I've kind of always been a closet Team Brazil. I've always been kind of closet Team France for some reason. Because back in, 98? I think France won, and I predicted them to win as a joke when I was bartending, and they ended up winning it. So I'm like, yeah, I know a lot about soccer. So I don't know. I had it on, and I did. I watched, and I didn't just have it on as background. Like, I paid attention to a lot of what was going on. And it just sort of solidified my fears that this is really boring to watch. Like, and I guess a lot of it is I don't understand the rules. I don't know what players can go where and all of that stuff. I don't get I don't understand. Why can the goalie touch the ball here but not over here if he's the goal? Whatever. I'm sounding like an idiot now, but I did, man. I was in, and the scoring chances are exciting. Like, you can hear the crowd as the ball gets closer to the goal and the offensive team has possession. You can kind of hear the ramp up in the crowd, and that's kind of exciting. But for the most part, it's just kicking it. And I forgot who it was that I was watching. The first game I watched was tied 1-1, and both teams were okay with a tie.
Yeah, that happens.
Play.
Yeah.
So
that's when soccer is at its worst, especially World Cup soccer.
Yeah, and
that's when it's at its worst. Yeah.
Literally, the last 10 minutes of the game was all, I guess, extra time.
Yeah, that
they announced 10 minutes. So we're in the 95th minute or whatever of the game. And literally neither team is doing anything. They're kicking it around in the middle of the field.
Yeah, that gets frustrating.
Yeah, there was a couple of mistakes by the defense for each team that, it would create kind of a scoring chance. But you didn't care. You didn't need to score. Everybody was fine with a tie. And that was the worst thing for me to watch, because I'm like, yeah, no, this is why I'm out on soccer.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I was kind of in on it, and I was intrigued. I don't know any of the players or anything about any of the teams. And I'll say this, the U.S. win, everybody got up on the U.S. win against Paraguay. And when we were talking to Reggie Atatula from Sports Radio 610 in Houston about it, I said, Reggie, kind of give me as a soccer idiot, was this a good measuring stick for the U.S.? Were they supposed to beat Paraguay? Or was this just a team that they probably should have beat, or a team that they should not have beat? Like, what kind of measuring stick is this? And he said, I don't know that we really know until we see Paraguay play more.
Yeah, that's probably true.
So a win is a win, but we won't really know if it was an impressive win until we get deeper into the tournament. But no, man, overall, I'm going to watch more of it for sure.
Well, first and foremost, I think that was the everyman's take on soccer right there. And I think the fact that it got you interested is a good sign.
Sure.
And I don't claim to be an expert, but I know a little bit more than you. And I do pay attention to US, the men's team. I'm not a Premier League guy. I just don't have time to do all that stuff. But I'll tell you this, as far as my long recollection of watching US men play soccer, this was by far the greatest performance I've ever seen. And it's because of their creativity and the way they scored. And Boligan, it was his 2 strikes were just clinical, and the last one was just unbelievable. When he got that to his left foot and just curled it in, it was I don't remember ever seeing a United States player do that. And Claudio Reyna's inside out boot was just almost as good. And that followed a 26 pass sequence from back to front multiple times that I have never seen a U.S. team do. Wow. So in quality of soccer, it's you'll see, like when we play Spain or we play, France, they will connect pass after pass again. And they're just toying with us. And that's what we did to Paraguay. And that was, I've never seen us do that. We were controlled. We were patient. We executed. We were clinical. And in the moment when you had an opening to score, the finish was absolutely spectacular. And that's not U.S. soccer. Right. We clunk our way down. We're like the, back in World War II where, we had the Sherman tank, which was, it was just this little clunker that it was hard to beat up. It wasn't like the Panzers that were fast and could just roll through, and it got the job done. And that's the way our team has always been. This was something completely different. This was the beautiful game on display. And that's not or hasn't been American soccer, but these guys are different. And Boligan and Pulisic, I thought, was fantastic in his playmaking. He caused the first own goal, and people say, "Oh, it's an own goal." Well, if that pass gets through to where it was headed to, that was a score. That was
see, that's one of my favorite things in all of sports, including hockey, is when you have an auto goal. Like I just call them auto goals. Yeah, I think that's great.
Yeah. So, but he created chance after chance after chance. And then he went out at halftime, and we're wondering what kind of injury it is. He says he's fine, but
we'll see. Injury, right?
Yeah, we'll see as it goes on. But getting a 3-0 lead allows you to do that, so that's cool. And so they just played with flair. They played with great finish. They played with great energy. Defensively, I thought they were absolutely suffocating for most of the match. There's one thing that we've seen from this team in the run-up and in this game is at times they do make stupid mistakes. And against teams like Paraguay, you can get away with that. Against other teams, you can't. So that's a little bit of a marker. But for the most part, that was fabulous. And the atmosphere at Riveters was just tremendous. I mean, it was packed. And red, white, and blue all over the place. And when they scored and the USA chants, and it was really fun. It was a really great atmosphere. To me, that's to me what is great about World Cup soccer. And just when you can bring everybody together like that, and it's everybody's pulling on one side, and it's patriotic and it's fun, and to me that's what's fun about it. That's why I don't like watching soccer at home. U.S. men's soccer, you go out and you party with people. Now, you might run into a really obnoxious person that wants to just talk your ear off and not really talk about soccer. Yeah. Which, unfortunately, that we kind of got a little bit of that, but we extricated ourselves from that situation to enjoy the second half as the wings were unbelievable at Riveters, and the beer was great, and the vibe was fantastic. But just in general, that's what it's all about, man. I highly recommend you, even if you don't like the game, go find a great watering hole like Riveters, and just take on USA. And even if the other games, at nighttime, there'll be factions of like Brazilian fans are crazy fun, and Argentina, and you'll find a lot of that around Tampa Bay. Just go to one of these great soccer bars, and Riveters is the best in my opinion, and you'll enjoy it. So maybe for me it's a USA soccer fan thing that I don't like not so much. Maybe I should go buy a Brazil jersey or whatever they call it. Maybe they call it jersey. I don't know. And go infiltrate a Brazil watch party here locally. Just pretend like I'm a massive Brazilian soccer fan and see how they. Yeah, you'll like that. You'll like that.
I might have to do that.
Yeah, you'll like that. Trust me.
All right.
Rick Chime says that Black Crows hate USA soccer. Yeah, the Black Crows hate USA anything. So there's that. USA soccer is all I watch, says Chris Gold, especially the women who are way better than the men. But lately the women have become more woke and don't care about the flag. Yeah, that bothers me.
Oh yeah, big time.
That bothered me. Back the old USA teams, but Megan Rapinoe's gone, and hopefully that culture has left the team with some of these older players. I hope so, because it's that shit's embarrassing on the national stage. And then what's worse is you find yourself not really rooting for USA.
Yeah, because of that. Yeah,
because of that, which is John Hill said, I would rather watch a Jackass movie instead of soccer. Jackass has more athletic moves. Dude, that's just wrong. If you're going to be a soccer hater, well, that's fine. Be a soccer hater. I get it. I totally get it.
I'm a recovering soccer hater, JP.
Yeah, I get it. I'm not going to. But, I don't know what to say about that. I don't want to hate on you. Because I do hate when soccer fans like, oh, you don't understand the game.
You're right. I don't.
And that is like a little uppity for me. I don't. You imagine these people watching American football? We don't even understand American football rules now. How the hell are they supposed to understand
don't even
it?
know.
Right, exactly. So we talk about soccer in that way. I wanted to talk about. I had not seen this, and this is why I'll sound a little dumb. Mistaken identity. Do you know what mistaken identity is? We need this in the NBA. That's all I know. Mistaken identity. So there was a play in the game where I forget the two players involved, where the Paraguay guy was coming in on the right wing, and the U.S. defender went in to get the ball and he missed, but he didn't hit the guy. And then the guy took two more steps and then dove with this look on his face. And it was like he'd just been shot.
Soccer.
He takes two more steps and he's like, "Ooh, I might get a penalty here." And the shot was right on his face. And they put it up on the jumbotron. And they like a minute after they replayed this, like 2 minutes. So there's a VR judge that's watching.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, you took a dive, you rat bastard." And so they stopped the game. And the ref goes over to the monitor, and it's mistaken identity. I just love the term.
That's awesome.
Because the defender got a yellow card, which is a big deal. If you get two yellow cards, you're out of the game. So
yellows equal a red? Is that how it works?
Yeah, so they went and changed it. And the ref runs over to the guy that they gave it to, and they said, "Sorry." They gave it the old, "Sorry, you didn't get the yellow." And he runs over, takes a yellow card out. He took a red card out first. I thought he was going to give the guy a red card. But he gave me, and then but the yellow's on you, you mistaken identity, rat bastard, awesome. Diving son of a bitch. Yes. So imagine if we had that in the NBA with the floppers.
Well, they implemented it in the NHL. Look, they put that in the NHL.
LeBron would be out of every game.
They put that in the NHL, and it works.
Yeah.
They need to do that in the NBA. I agree. And look,
you'd be stopping the game every 5 minutes, unfortunately.
Well, you'd have
mistaken identity.
You'd learn. You'd start throwing guys out of the game for flopping in the NBA, and it'll end real quick. Look, and I have to address another thing that John Hill just said in that same comment. John Hill, if you're watching Jackass in any way, shape, or form on any media, you're a jackass. And I say that with all due respect and affection because I love you, John Hill. That's got to be the dumbest thing I've never
understood
anybody.
That.
I don't get it at all. And they're just making a new one.
Yeah.
Like, there's a new one coming out of these guys.
I'll
like
say
in their
that.
50s.
I'll say that, and then I'll see a clip, and I'll laugh. I'll go.
Look, here's the deal. Colby and I got into an argument about this on our show Saturday because I guess Steve-O, is that his name from the show?
I think that's one of them, yeah.
Had a birthday on our birthday segment, and I didn't know who it was. And he was flabbergasted that I didn't know who that was. He said, well, from Jackass. So then I went off on this rant about how stupid Jackass is, and I've never understood it. I never want to watch it, which he couldn't understand because that's like his favorite show. And he's like, but we do all of that. Like, you've done all of those things. I said, yeah, I've done all of those. I don't go tell people that I did it, though. That's the stupid part, is when you do the stupid things, you know you did the stupid things.
I will never seek out Jackass. I will never go find it. But when I come across it, like in my feed or something, I'll watch it. Yeah, I'm kind of contradicting myself, but I won't. I will not seek it out. Kurt Thorson says you got to watch Triumph the Insult Comic Dog from Conan O'Brien, which I do love that.
I've seen
That's
those.
one of his bits that I love.
Yeah.
He visits various World Cup parties around Queens, New York. Each bar was a different nation. So funny. I will watch that. Link me to that. Link me to that. Mike Steve said the NFL needs a player motions for a flag that should be a 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalty. I agree with that. When you jump up and start going like this, that's a penalty. That should be a penalty. Shut up. Let them call the game. Let's see what else we got. What else we got here? Bucks Basement says the reason Mike is gone is Bowles' mediocrity and having enough with that. Baker knows as well that Bowles isn't it, and majority of fans already know Bowles is not worth. I agree with that.
I kind of agree, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. And that's it. That's a terrible indictment on your team, and your organization. I said it. I did that monologue when Mike left, and I stand by it. It's an indictment of your team when something like that happens, and because those guys know more than anybody what's going on behind closed doors. And if they're leaving for less money going across the nation, for again, Kyle Shanahan hadn't won a Super Bowl. He's won a lot, but he hadn't won a Super Bowl, and he
most overrated coach in the NFL.
And he's got a black mark as an offensive coordinator to Super Bowl for losing a 28-3 lead. But the way he called it. But anyway, he didn't call the defense that day. David Terry says, I was impressed with USA soccer team's relentless pressure the whole game. I could see us getting to the semifinals if we keep playing with that urgency. Ooh. Yeah, that's true. But again, your opponent really, really kind of dictates that. There was even in that 26 pass sequence where they're up 3-1, there was a pass in there. It was very dangerous. And up 3-1, you cannot make that pass. Now, it ended up being a goal, but and you could say, well, it didn't. And the good teams do that all the time. You'd be right. But I can't. It's like, well, we've never done that. So are we that team now? Maybe we are. Maybe that's what we've been waiting for. But we'll see. That's the beauty of it. We'll see. What's your bias against international football? Why can't you interact like the rest of the world?
Well, I don't know that we have international football. There's no NFL teams outside the U.S., so we don't have international football.
There soon will be. Listen, Right Brain Boricu, who's always very, he's an alt sports guy.
Okay.
You're an alt sports guy. So you probably don't watch a lot or is as versed in football. First of all, what I do, I have to be hyper local and study these teams. And there's only 24 hours in the day, bro. And we are a niche, in some ways. Our business model is to attract the local sports enthusiast in all the markets that we have shows. Yeah. So that's our business model. We're not trying to compete with ESPN or CNN or ESPN or Fox or CBS in terms of covering the national sports. We're hyper local. So I only have 24 hours in the day, and I can't devote myself to Premier League soccer or Serie A or Bundesliga. It's too much. I just, I'm a limited old man. So we just can't. Now, do I want to go to a Premier League game? Hell yeah. Do I want to go see Barca play in Madrid? Yeah, I sure do. In Barcelona, yeah, I do. I respect those games, and I really, but I'm just not versed on them. So we don't talk about them. I don't think I respect them as incredible leagues and games that they are, but I'm not going to sit here and downgrade them. I don't do that, but I just can't talk about it with any sense of intelligence whatsoever. So I don't. And we only have so much time. Disclosure Day. Yeah, that was the name of it. It was so bad of a movie. Yeah. It was so bad of a movie that I forgot the title of it. So I went into this,
that is all I've heard is how bad it is.
So I went into this thinking, oh my God, this is it. This is, the government has given Spielberg all access to all their great stuff. And he's going to weave a narrative to tell us all how we're all going to die when the aliens get here 2027. And I say that somewhat flippantly. And so I'm expecting this great, highly produced, gigantic movie. And it was a corny car chase. It was a corny car chase movie with stupid plot lines that didn't connect at all. Very basic writing, scripting, meh. like even Spielberg's genius in film, like if you put that film in front of me and somebody said who directed that, I'd say, oh, some B-level schmuck. It was that bad. It was that bad. The fact that was a Spielberg movie, I'm blown away.
So has he lost his fastball?
He is shit. Yeah. He must be in the middle of a UCL repair because that was just straight garbage. I mean, it was straight garbage.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah. I mean, there was a scene in there and I hate to, maybe I'm spoiling it for you, but I'm giving you my honest review of Disclosure Day. If you don't want to hear it, tune away for a little bit. We're going to go to break in a minute after this, but it was like, the FBI pulls up to the farmhouse where they're hunkered down with his girl and he's outside when they show up. So he sneaks around the back, steals a car where there's 50 FBI guys around there, all with guns, steals one of their cars, drives up through the farmhouse. She jumps in. Well, like, wait, they were just behind you. How did you have time to run over there and grab her and then put her in the car? They would have been all over you, and they certainly would have shot you in the head 17 times. But no. It's just dumb shit like that through the whole movie. And then even the ending is just so anticlimactic. It's just, it's a nothing burger. It's a go save your money. I'll do that for you. I'll save you because, movies are expensive these days.
Yeah.
Save your money. It's not even big enough to say, oh, I want to go see it at the theater. We went to the big Dolby whole thing, and it's like,
oh, wow,
it's not even a spaceship in the damn movie. I mean, there's a couple of them, but it's not.
It's supposed to be about aliens, right? Like,
it's about to be disclosing all the alien stuff that we have. All the stuff that they're letting the Congress folks see, and they're all coming out going, "You don't want to see this. You don't want to see what I've seen." And so I was expecting, something along those lines, and it's all video. They recreate the Roswell thing, and it's dumb. It's just dumb. I looked at Ashley halfway through and I go, this is a dumb movie. Like, I can't believe Spielberg made this. It's flat garbage. It is flat
Lost
garbage.
His fastball.
Yeah, big time. So there you go. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back on the other side and we'll hit a little more comments here. I want to get to I did something over the weekend with the Lightning Hockey Warriors up in Wesley Chapel. It was a great event. Ryan Malone was there. John Gruden was coaching. Adam Hall, but the event itself was really cool. I want to tell you about that as well. Hey, we're brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance, who are now becoming part of Gallagher Insurance. And what does that mean to you? It means they'll have access to many more companies that they can serve you with, much more infrastructure for you. Basically, in the bottom line, it's going to help you save money and give you better choices. And that's all you freaking care about, right? But here's the deal. It's not going to be one of these huge corporations where you're going to throw you through a million voicemails. You still get the best Italiano customer service that you've always gotten. So you get the big deal with the little deal, which is a great deal. I just made that up. And it's Italiano Insurance, and it's 813-877-7799. Thank you very much. Back in 3. Well, the folks at Third Generation Plumbing and AC want to say thanks for making them so dadgum busy. Of course, advertising on your favorite Tampa Bay sports talk show helps, but it's their incredible customer service, honesty, and integrity that have earned them tons of 5-star reviews. And now you could be part of the team at Third Generation. Yes, they are so slammed, they need to hire more certified AC technicians and plumbers. It's a great family business to work for. My buddy John Rodriguez runs an old school family business since 1995. They pay well, give you all the holidays off, and they offer great benefits. No cold corporate atmosphere here. You're part of the family. If this sounds cool to you, call them and apply at 813-961-8024, or you can email your resume in at thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Just go to the website, you'll see the button, email them, or call them at 813-961-8024. And don't forget about the $169 yearly maintenance special. It's a no-brainer, guys. thirdgenerationplumbing.com, and they also do AC.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Cafe Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Sports fans, it's time to gear up. Head to fanstreamsports.com and check out our brand new merchandise store. We're talking bold t-shirts, 3/4 zips, hoodies, hats, mugs, and more. Everything you need to rep your favorite shows and your favorite crew. Whether you're rolling with the JP Peterson Show in Tampa Bay, From the Rough in Dallas, the Tim May Show featuring Clay Hall, or the Jeff Thidoff Show in Ohio, or any of our FanStream Sports original programming, we've got the perfect look for game day and every day. So don't wait. fanstreamsports.com. Click merch and grab your gear now. Wear the stream, live the stream, fanstreamsports.com.
Welcome to Kingmakers, home of the JP Peterson Show studio and Tampa's premier business networking and social club for members only. By day, it's an exclusive, vibrant co-working space with a stylish conference room, focus rooms, a full production studio, and an in-house marketing team. And by night, Kingmakers transforms into a sports-centric social hub with a full sports bar, golf simulator, and exclusive events. For young entrepreneurs and seasoned professionals, it's the perfect place to work hard, play hard, and make big moves in Midtown Tampa. Close the deal, celebrate the win. Only at Kingmakers. Become a member today at kingmakerstampa.com. Your business, your club. Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the Gold and Diamond Store. Hey, Father's Day weekend is this weekend. What you getting me, kids? Phone call would be nice. Good morning, Glenn and Shay, my beloved children. Remember me, your dad?
Nope.
No, you don't.
My kids live with me and they don't remember me.
Yeah, I guess I should be thankful for that.
Yeah.
But the Golden Diamond Source is the place to go buy something for your dad. They've got great watch selection there. They got a great men's section. Yes, men wear jewelry too. That is true. Yes, we do. Mm-hmm. So whether you're looking for a watch, where you're looking for a pendant, necklace, bracelet, rings, all that great stuff, they have it at the Gold and Diamond Source. And by the way, guys, if you have any old gold jewelry, just ask your wife before you take it. It may have some sentimental value. That may be something that the former boyfriend gave them that they really like to remember him by. In that case, you just grab it and go.
Grab it and go.
Then you know what when they say it's from a former boyfriend, and you just grab it and go.
And just play dumb.
Yeah. I didn't think you liked that anymore, or you shouldn't. So I'm going to take it over to the Golden Diamond Source and get some really good cash so I can buy myself something for Father's Day. My kids aren't going to buy me anything.
I'm gonna buy you something for the next guy to get rid of.
I'm sorry that the Gold and Diamond read has become me bitching about my children. I apologize for that. But you get the idea, folks. We have fun with it, right? So go ahead, head on down to the Golden Diamond Source. Father's Day is right around the corner. Great place to get something nice for dad. Absolutely. So on Saturday, Elise Zwick and I from Channel 13 went over to the Advent Health Hockey Center there for the Hockey Heals 22 event, which is 22 hours of nonstop hockey involving military teams, first responder teams, the Lightning Warriors team, which is made up of first responders, former military. And what they're doing is bringing attention to the 22 suicides a day from former military folks who come back. And it is an epidemic in our world. And there are a lot of great organizations that are working together to not only keep guys involved in stuff like hockey. You know, I was talking to one of them and say, you know, one of the things that really keeps me from being severely depressed from my PTSD is hockey and getting out there with the boys and having to show up every week, you know, for practice or games or whatever, and just being around the guys because suicides happen when guys isolate themselves. So hockey is a great way for them to get out there and you know, and have camaraderie. But also this particular event brings to, we had a lot of the families who had lost our heroes to suicide, and they were there. The Schwarzkopfs were there. Jessica and her mom. It was a great deal. And it was very solemn, but yet wonderful at the same time. John Gruden was there. Coach Gruden gave up a lot of his time. Ryan Malone played in every game, 22 hours of hockey, 16 games. He played in every game. So these guys, I mean, how cool is it for these beer league guys to be out there playing with Adam Hall was out there. Ryan Malone, Matthew Garon from the Lightning, all these, and a bunch of other ex-Lightning players and NHL players. I mean, how cool is it for them to be out there skating with those guys? And for Ryan to do it for all 22 hours is just like crazy. I'm not sure if the rest of them did, but you know, I know he was planning on doing that. So it was a really, really cool event. If you ever want to get involved in it, it's called Hockey Heals 22. They do it about this time every year. And Operation Healing Forces is involved. The Warrior Foundation, Lightning Warriors is the main group, and they are a great team that is hooked up with the Advent Health Center out there. And shout out to them. They give them the facilities for the whole thing. It's a great facility out there. They have a little stadium and everything. So it was really it was a good time had by all, and for a great cause. And I was just honored and to have, you know, the opportunity to be involved in a very small way. So thanks to them, and great job for raising a lot of money and helping for a cause that is, you know, it's important. We need to talk about it. We need to support the families, because it's tough for these guys to come back having done what they've done and just assimilate into the population. It's damn near impossible. So we got to support them in every way we possibly can. All right, let's get back to the triviality one other thing. So we left there, and since we were up there in Wesley Chapel, we had to stop at Texas Roadhouse, Wesley Chapel, who's the main sponsor of the Big O show. What a meal, Timmy. What a meal.
Jealous. I'm already jealous.
You know what's great about this place? It's Tyler came over, Tyler Hamilton, who's the owner-operator. He started as cutting the lawn there and moved up to busboy, and now he's owner-operator. And he looks like he's about 22. But he's got a great family, just had a baby on the way. And the whole restaurant is like a big family. 170 employees he has there. One of his kitchen managers, it just got elevated kitchen manager. The dad works in the kitchen. So they've got sisters that work there, whole families that work there. And it's just a great dynamic that now the 21-year-old kid is the boss of the dad. It's so
funny.
Like, hey, yeah, you're on dish duty now. Yeah, go wash the dishes, Dad. But the point is, it's a great family restaurant, and they bring you those hot rolls right off the bat, and the peanuts, like with the honey butter. Oh, you had me at hot rolls and honey butter, and then you get the steak and the loaded baked potato with the house salad. Oh,
You know they sell that honey butter at the grocery store.
Do they?
I just found some, and I didn't know either. I just found
Texas Roadhouse honey butter.
Texas Roadhouse honey butter. I just bought some last week, and it's already gone. It's like in the little tubs. It's not like a big massive.
Oh, I'm getting that. You know what else is great? They have their own steak sauce.
Oh, they do. And it's great.
It's fantastic. Yeah. So I got the strip of loaded baked potato. You get the rolls and the peanuts, right? with a half and half sweet tea, their sweet tea and their half. I always do it half and half. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. And she Ashley got the smothered chicken. When I tell you smothered, whoo, and the steak fries were, it was like a meal. But my New York strip, 12-ounce New York strip with baked potato and house salad and the peanuts and the rolls, right? And my less than $30, which in this day and age, especially in Tampa Bay, is unheard of. Absolutely unheard of. There was a girl that worked in the kitchen. Shout out to Ava and her dad, who are big Lightning fans. And she came out and she's like, "Oh my God, I told you JP was out here and I had to come out and say hello." So I'm like, "Well, you made my day." I said, because Ashley had just gone to the bathroom. I said, "Can you wait till my wife gets back and then come back and say all those nice things about me, just so she knows I'm famous and important?" Which I'm not. But when I get somebody that like thinks I am, it's really kind of a treat. So it was fun to meet the whole group over there. Avery, one of the managers up front, and they just run a great restaurant because it was packed, crowded. I mean, packed. It was like a 20, 30-minute wait. But we didn't, we just got right in. We came in at like 4:00, but they run that place like you're not waiting for your food. You're not waiting for service. You're not waiting for anything. It is by far one of the best experiences I've had at a steakhouse. So shout out to the folks at Texas Roadhouse, Wesley Chapel. All right, let's get back to some of your thoughts here. This is an interesting take from Kurt Thorson. Caminero is becoming the Jameis Winston of baseball. He helps the other team as much as his own. Another error obstructing the shortstop allowed the Angels to tie the game, made up for it with a 2-run homer. Stop obstructing the shortstop. Once is an accident, twice is coincidence, 3 times is a trend. 10 times is Junior Caminero.
You're fired.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting to that point of Jameis Winston land. I know you say that tongue in cheek, but I get it. And we got to remember, Kurt, he's 22. He's 20, he just turned 22 years old. And he's Boo Shiesty says, "Is Caminero eating W's?" See, he's not quite Jameis Winston yet. But, I think he's young. He's a showman. There's a part of him that's kind of Jameis Winston-esque, to your point. Mm-hmm. He's a showman. He wants to, and he's gotten so much attention from the World Baseball Classic. And I just think this is all part of it, and he'll learn. So I don't want to dog him for some of this stuff. It's a learning experience. But I thought that he'd gotten over that. Listen, if Taylor Walls is playing behind you, and you go to the right, your left, he made a bunch of those plays, and he's made a bunch of really good plays going to his left, and that's what the third baseman is supposed to do. It's kind of a chopper. You got to get to the ball quicker and make the play. But again, with the Gold Glove shortstop behind you, you got to let him. If there's any thought about it at all, you got to let him handle it. He'll get there. Bucs Basement says they haven't had good home field advantage since 2024. I think he's talking about the Bucs. Most season ticket holders sell the tickets to opposing fans, and that likely won't change this season. So, yeah, I'd say the Bucs are the worst of the 3 right now. I think they are. In terms of close to winning a championship, I think you're right with that. Yeah. What else? We give some other folks a chance here. Good morning to you, Danny Boy. Bucs Basement said about the Trump White House UFC last night. Also, the comment the fighter made about Michelle Obama could land the UFC in big trouble, and definitely the fighter. Reports say they're trying to erase the footage online. Yeah, I don't think they're going there.
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen. By the way,
in a moment like that, it's, I'm going to say this stuff online and whatever. It was,
and that what he said obviously does not surprise me.
Yeah.
It's something that a lot of people believe and say and whatever, but maybe that's just one of about a billion reasons to not have an event like this at the White House.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get what this was. Like, why? I don't understand.
I think it was, what
I'm a
it
Trump
was.
guy, and I don't understand.
It was, listen, you're going to have trannies, showing their titties on the South Lawn,
which happened.
Like the Biden administration.
Thanks, Biden,
did,
for that.
And have a drag show. This is exactly what it was. If you're going to go have a drag show at the White House, I'm going to have a UFC show, and I'm going to make it big.
If it's in response or retaliation to what the stuff that Joe Biden did on the White House,
exactly
South Lawn,
what it is.
Then
I'm what it is.
I am 1,000% okay with it. I get it.
Do two wrongs make a right? I mean,
yes. In this situation, yes. Two negatives make a positive.
I mean, listen, we don't want to get into all the politics of, but listen,
No.
I don't, for all the people, and I actually saw a CBS News report, and they were talking about this, and they could not have been more condescending about the whole thing. In fact, they called it, you know what they called it? Cage fighting.
Oh, that's not the same thing.
When UFC started 25 years ago, it's like, we're going to go find the pejorative moniker that we put on this from 25 years ago and say, and that's I mean, come on now. You can talk, and they're using the hallowed halls of the White House where they left the cocaine. Nobody was ever prosecuted to walk UFC fighters through, just besmirching the White House by having cage fighters enter through there. I'm like,
didn't Bill besmirch the White House a long time ago?
There was some besmirching on a blue dress, I believe. There was some besmirching going on.
Yes, happened a long time ago.
Yes. So, yeah, this is like quintessential Trump. Oh, you wanted to have trannies on a drag show? Okay, watch this.
I suddenly get it now.
Watch this. It's exactly what it was.
I'm 100% in agreement with all of this now.
It was big. It was, it was something. And they had the Marine band there popping out. I mean, the full orchestra. I think that was it was something.
All I could think of, because I've seen in the past, weeks, the structure that they were building for this, on the South Lawn. I swear to God, I thought they were building like a Stargate or something like on the South Lawn.
Portal.
It looked, some sort of portal to another universe or dimension or something. But I mean, and I'm not into UFC. I enjoy it if I'm in a group of people watching it. I'll watch, but I guess Trump going out and belittling the NFL for all the pay-per-view stuff the NFL is doing now, and then hosting an event like that and putting it on pay-per-view. It's a little bit. I don't know. I know it wasn't necessarily pay-per-view, but it was on. You had to have Paramount Plus is what it was on or something.
Yeah, Paramount Plus. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, which is pay-per-view. You got to subscribe to it. So I don't know.
I mean, this is, Kurt's like, I had nothing to do with Trump holding a lot of stock in the UFC. Listen, bro, I love you dearly, Kurt. I do. But if you want to go back and forth and on a corruption, who's more corrupt, the Dems or the R's? I mean, do you really want to do that? You really want to go there? No, I don't think so. You can call Trump out all you want, but you better be looking at what your side's doing and has done. And it ain't pretty. They're all corrupt as hell. So, I mean, we could go on all day with that shit. So let's not.
Politics.
Yeah.
By the way, do we need to?
You are famous and important and most handsome. Thank you, honey. This is what happens when you promote your wife to vice president of marketing and promotion.
How do you know she was talking to you? There's two of us on this show, JP.
I said I'm not famous or important. You didn't say that. You still think you are.
I get recognized. Heck, I get recognized around Dallas almost as much for being on this show as I do Dallas shows.
How about that?
Yeah, we got a lot of.
We're blowing up,
JP
baby.
Fans.
We're blowing up.
Doesn't have anything to do with the fact that I also put it on the Dallas YouTube channel, but
there you go.
Hey, do we need to make an announcement for the next 2 days to everybody so that we're all on the same page?
Yes. So OTAs, Bucs OTAs tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday, although Thursday's schedule is a little bit truncated. So we're just going to do OTAs tomorrow and Wednesday and get interviews like we did last week, which I thought was productive, right? We got some good stuff out of that. There was some breaking news we came back with, which was pretty cool. So we'll do the live show 1 to 3 tomorrow and Wednesday. Live show 1 to 3 tomorrow and Wednesday. And then Thursday we'll be back to regular time. So
and then no show Friday.
No show Friday, Juneteenth holiday. We're taking that off.
Are we allowed to do that?
As we should. Yeah. Yeah. So we're allowed to do that because it's Friday and it's Juneteenth.
Okay.
God damn it. And I have a golf tournament to play in.
There it is.
No, it's Juneteenth. You know, I'm going to brag a little. I was an all-pro at every sport in elementary school, including golf. Michael LaRue says the Lightning need to sign Radish and a top six winger who can score. They could also use a better backup goalie and a face-off specialist. Amen to all that, Michael LaRue.
Shake out your drain line.
Yep. Draft is June 26th and free agency is July 1st. The Connor McDavid, anyone? It's out there. It's out there. Connor McDavid for Cooch in a package.
But whose package?
You always
That's
want to
my
get back
question.
a Cooch in a package if you're making a
That's
deal.
my question. Whose package is it?
Who doesn't like getting
Mark.
oiled up? Come on now.
Oh my God. Somebody who asked about the Darren Radish contract. Yeah, Darren Radish contract, 5 years, $5.4 million. I can't find it. If you find it, put it up there.
I saw it earlier too. I'll look.
I want to give him credit and ask me what I thought about it. I think it is a fair offer. I think it's a great offer. It's really hard to quantify Radish's long-term. I mean, if you're going to do a 5-year, 5.4, that is a major, major commitment for a guy who before this year was getting healthy scratch. Well, this year was getting healthy scratch. Now, Darren Radish will tell you that's because the Lightning didn't know how to use him.
Well, and yeah, that's
How do you disagree with that?
I mean, that's an important aspect to this is he did it for like 3/4 of the year, half the year.
7/8 of the year. I mean, whatever you want to call it. Like
Right.
once he got in there, he broke the freaking record for goals by Lightning defensemen.
Yeah.
22. That's a thing.
This was David Terry, by the way, with the comment.
Yeah, thank you, David. That's a thing. And he's got a 104-mile-an-hour shot, and he knows how to get it through. That's a thing. So he is what he is, and he proved it. I mean, there wasn't a few weeks of getting hot. It was an entire damn season of dominating with a shot that is lethal. It's, so I think if Darren Radish doesn't get what he, I mean, if you're Darren Radish, don't you think, well, it just, what took you so long to let me get a chance? Listen, when you have a future Hall of Famer running your damn power play and Victor Hedman, you're not going to get a chance. He's been pretty good. Now this year, obviously he had his issues and you got your chance and you proved it. But 5.7 AAV for 5 years, living in Florida, playing for the Lightning. If I'm Darren Radish, I jump all over it. Now,
I mean, he's not a spring chicken either, right? He's 30, 31, 30, I think.
I don't know. Check that for me. I think he's younger than that. I think he's younger than that. Because if he's 30, then I have.
He turned 30 this past February.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. See, this is a very weird dynamic for a 30-year-old to burst on the scene like this.
Break out.
But then again, if you're stuck behind Victor Hedman, in terms of, because most of his points were on the power play, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was directing the power play, which is where, Hedman get most of his points too. So it's a weird deal. It's a weird deal, but I hope he takes it and I hope he stays. And I think he's worth the money. I think he's worth the money.
I think he's worth more to the Lightning than he would be to another team.
Yeah, but here's the other part of that. I think Victor has 3 years left on his deal at 8 point something.
Yeah.
So you have to pay Victor, but are you really going to, invest in Victor Hedman in terms of, or not invest, but at this point, do you feel like he's definitely going to return to form?
Yeah, past that contract, you mean?
Yeah. I don't know if that's a good gamble. Sure would like to have a backup plan like Darren Radish. And with the cap going up, you can afford it, but I think that's a fair offer. I hope he takes it. I'm not sure he will.
Yeah, David Terry says
he'll see what's out there.
He thinks it's more than a reasonable offer at 30. I think it might be might be too much. to be honest with you at 30.
Yeah. If I'm going to, for a guy that's never, now, he can certainly argue, and I think it's a fair argument. His agent will certainly argue you the guys were the ones keeping him from getting an opportunity.
Right.
So, and I think there's a little bit, I think Darren probably, if I were him, I'd be like, I'm not giving you a home count discount because I love the organization. It took you till I was 30 years old. Where was he before? Did we draft him? I'm sorry, I don't know this. I should know this. But
Darren Radish.
I think he's been a while.
Drafted in 2017. Played for the Rockford Ice Hogs. Who the hell drafted him?
I don't know.
I'm looking.
Don't know. I know he's been around for a while.
Yeah.
You know what? We'll do it over the break. I got to hit a break here anyway. Alejandro says, if Joe Ryan is a possible trade piece for the Rays, how ironic would it be if we were able to bring him home to pitch for us? Yeah, because we gave him up for Nelson Cruz. It would be cheaper than going for Scooball. Let's extend him long term. Yeah, I kind of like that idea. We're still going to have to give up something significant to get him, though, get him back. Single Step Studio says Spielberg needs to stop working with writer David Cope. Well, I butchered that one. Sorry. But I get your point. Yeah, that was awful. Whatever he's doing, don't do it again. That was terrible.
Darren Radish signed a 2-year contract with the Blackhawks in 2019. He was then traded to the Rangers in 2019. And was with Rangers training camp, but was sent to their AHL affiliate in 2020. And in 2021, he signed a 1-year, 2-way contract with the Lightning.
Yeah. So he's been around for a while.
He spent some time with the Blackhawks and the Rangers.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. One more from Rick. Says JP goes to see an alien movie, $60 for IMAX, $40 for popcorn, $80 for 2 cocktails. And he ended up with an anal probe. And he's going back next Saturday for more. Yeah. No, they like when they bought our tickets for $47. See that garbage. They like, hey, would you like to add on unlimited popcorn and 2 drinks for $27?
Let's just make it an even 100.
Popcorn and 2 sodas for $27. So that's where we are. Good God, man.
Yeah, but it's free refills, JP.
Like I need that.
Can you eat $27 worth of popcorn?
Here's a garbage can full of popcorn, but in case you need more, it's unlimited. Jesus Christ, what are we doing? I know, God, like welcome to America, fat ass capital of the world. Jesus. All right, here's a literal garbage can full of popcorn. But if you need more and some butter,
you will
head on up. God. All right, we're brought to you by the great folks at Kingmakers Tampa, where we're coming from right now, a unique special private club right here in Midtown Tampa. Come check us out at kingmakerstampa.com. Back in 3. JP here for Genesis of Tampa and the Murphy Auto Group. I think the best way to experience a business is to use that business. And I just did at Genesis of Tampa. Just bought a GV70, a 2023, and it feels and drives all new. It's an absolutely fantastic car. The technology, the comfort, and the price, absolutely outstanding. Frankly, I never thought I could get into a car like this, but they made me a deal I could not refuse. And I also get the VIP service where you can just drive right up, their pit stop service. They'll top off all the fluids, make sure your air in your tires is good, new wipers if you want them. If you need extended service, they will come to you, bring you a courtesy car, and then bring your car back. What more do you want? The experience was just VIP all the way. And you can get that at Genesis of Tampa. And don't forget, you can get extended warranty, which I did. So I have worry-free miles up to 100,000, and all they do is just take it in. Actually, I don't have to take it in. They come to me. It's perfect. It's Genesis of Tampa right there, 801 East Bears Avenue, right off of 275. Go see them and tell them JP sent you. Big thanks to Italiano Insurance, the great folks over there. They will soon be part of Gallagher Insurance. A little name change, but same great folks, same great customer service you've known for over 65 years. They do all the work. You save all the money. ItalianoInsurance.com at 813-877-7799. Hey, the Golden Diamond Source wants to be your family jeweler, so don't wait any longer to find that one-of-a-kind perfect engagement ring for that special someone in your life. At the Golden Diamond Source, they can design anything you want personally. The Golden Diamond Source can help you trade in your old broken jewelry and use it towards a new purchase as well. And with gold prices at record high, now is the best time to do it. They only sell natural diamonds at the Golden Diamond Source, so if it's a real love, it should be a real natural diamond. Don't start your relationship with a fake diamond. Bad idea. And with the Golden Diamond Source first-time buyer program, you can learn all about the 4 C's in all the different shapes and styles. And they are able to show you a huge selection of inventory to choose from. And don't forget, 0% financing for up to 5 years. If you finance $5,000, it's only $83 a month. Make sure it's a Golden Diamond Source diamond, 3800 Almerton Road, always online at goldendiamond.com.
It's the love you give only at Golden Diamond Source.
Hey guys, you already know that Riveters is the best sports bar in all of Tampa Bay, but now it gets even better for Rays baseball season. During all Rays games, check this out, $6 Tito's, $6 Jack, $6 margaritas, all during Rays games. Are you kidding me? And that's always a great pour from the great bartenders at Riveters. Great service, great food, everything is fresh, nothing is frozen. And let me tell you, if you want baseball and wings, you will not find any better than Riveters. Their sauces, like the blue cheese and the ranch and everything, is handmade, and the wings are big and they're perfect. Wings, baseball, Rays, Riveters. It all comes together during baseball season. Once again, in addition to all the great food and service, you get $6 Tito's, $6 Jacks, $6 margaritas. It's time to celebrate. Baseball season is back, and celebrate at Riveters. You know where it is, right there on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of the stadium. See you there at Riveters. Pitch Roofing believes giving back is part of doing business the right way. That's why they proudly offer exclusive discounts to those who gave the most to our communities, including veterans, first responders, seniors, and teachers. And for listeners of the JP Peterson Show, there's even more good news. Pitch Roofing is now offering a special discount just for fans of the show. With so many roofing companies coming and going in Florida, it's important to choose a contractor you can count on long after the job is done, especially when it comes to honoring your warranty. Pitch Roofing is built for the long haul with a reputation for quality, transparency, and standing behind their work. Whether it's a repair or a full replacement, their team delivers honest guidance, quality workmanship, and no high-pressure sales. Call 727-67-PITCH, 727-677-4824, or visit pitchroofing.com to schedule a free estimate.
Pitch roofing, roofing done right.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back. Big O's in the house. By the way, we'll talk a little baseball. I'm going to do a few more events, and then we'll do some race baseball. Appreciate you guys jumping in. Brought to you by the great folks at Cafe Paradiso, the best Italian restaurant in all of Tampa Bay. To go to Open Table, where they were ranked number 3 in the entire market, and then make a reservation and go see why. The best traditional Italian. The lasagna is incredible. The branzino is a fresh fish that Opala goes out to the docks, picks it up himself, brings it back, and cooks it up for you. It's as good as it gets over at Cafe Paradiso on South MacDill. Remember that great meal we had there when you and Johnny were in town, Timmy?
I think about it I think about that meal more than I think about some women in my past.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Wow. Wow.
And Timmy's had some meals.
He's had some meals.
And I mean that, I mean that.
We know what you mean.
In both ways. Yeah, Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, you've had some meals in your day.
Pooh Shiesty says that structure for UFC at the White House is for the sequel to Disclosure Day.
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be a sequel. Lord, I hope not.
To the movie and to the White House thing, to either.
Oh my, true. What else we got? No, I'm not going to get into the politics today, boys. Sorry, we're not doing that. Well, right.
I don't have time for that.
Says, can I be an American football hater? Yeah, you could be an American football hater. I mean, we know it's better across. More time on. Stamkos says 2 years left on Nashville contract. They're going nowhere. That's for damn sure. Danny Boy Kane said, I don't mind going to a movie because I get discounts on it. I don't think you can get discounts on those like IMAX things when you go to do that, get all the extra stuff. But John Hill says Jackass reruns are free. That's true.
Great.
But I still ain't gonna watch them unless it's put in front of me.
Nope.
All right, let's talk some baseball with our good friend Orestes Destrada. What's up, my friend?
I am tranquil and tropical, happy to be here and talking sports.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was great.
Yeah? What'd you watch? You watch any of the basketball, the hockey,
basketball,
the
I watched
UFC?
baseball. I watched the soccer Friday night. I watched.
How was that?
That was very good.
Fantastic, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
you missed a good time at Red Roof,
I
bro.
know, man.
We
But
had a good old time.
Yeah,
Place was packed though.
I'm not a big soccer guy, but I will say I enjoyed that match. Number one, yeah, it's USA, so you're pumping that side. But the control, it was almost like watching a hockey game where the one team just controls the puck, pretty much for the whole game.
Yeah.
And they just controlled it, and how well they dribble and handle and pass that soccer ball was just
unlike USA.
They're showing something that might be interesting for this tourney.
Yeah,
because if they're that consistent with their passing, that guy Richards and the other, I was impressed.
I'm just hesitant to get too
of
geeked up because they always let you down.
Well, it's not that they always let you down. It's that you have
do.
monsters in France and monsters in
Spoken like a true Bucs fan, by the way.
Yeah. They always let you down. Nice. Yeah. How about them Cowboys? Anyway.
See, I just don't get my hopes up,
Speaking
and
of
I'm not
letdown.
disappointed.
Well,
that's true. You know what was interesting this weekend with the Knicks winning? It made me think of the Cowboys because you're talking about a storied franchise. Probably, those two franchises represent the league. When you think of NBA, you can't go very far down the list of basketball teams without getting to the Knicks, just in general.
Yeah.
Had one
for marquee franchises.
For marquee franchises.
Haven't won squadouche in 50 years.
Forget about they haven't won. It's just they're a marquee franchise.
Yeah.
Right. So, and they haven't won in 50. And then in football, you can't help but think of the Cowboys. I mean, they're just, for a person that walks into this country and goes, oh, football. Oh, Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys. Star in the helmet. Yeah.
Star in the helmet. And then they haven't won in how many years, Timmy?
1990, the 95 season. The 95 season was the last year. But what I'm hearing is Big O.
Well, it wasn't 50.
Big O just predicted a Super Bowl win by the Cowboys, is what I'm hearing.
He did.
I think that's where I'm going. I'm going that the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl, basically.
Wow.
Even though the
that's
Los
not
Angeles
happening.
Rams are pretty darn good.
I don't think the Bucs are going to win it.
Good.
But
Say
you
that
never know.
over and over,
Yeah.
and then that means that they're going to win it.
I'll dog them. If I dog them. That only kind of works with the Rays, though.
Does it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've done that.
Who do I need to start dogging?
Well,
Mullins.
I'm going to tell you, you started dogging Mullins.
I did.
Like 3 or 4 weeks ago. You're like, what's up with this guy? Yeah. Oh, by the way, I know you're upset about the pinch hit on Friday night. And I know you wanted.
I don't know if Filet would be any better, but
listen. The way that Filet's been going the last 30 games with 23 RBIs, I could see not pinch hitting for him. You know, he was 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts, a nasty righty reliever closer. It was a calculated risk.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
I get it.
And it was a weak at bat.
It's not the worst decision he's ever made.
It's not the worst. It was a calculated,
but
risk.
It was a weak at bat.
It was a weak at bat.
Yeah.
I will say that I was very disappointed with the at bat, especially the last swing. At least try to foul that off.
When he had tying and go ahead runs on, right?
He had a base loaded. Yeah. I'm talking about the last 30 games. When you look on 30 game slots, which is a 6-month season, that's a good sampling.
Yeah. He's been good.
Vilade has hit over 290. He's got like 22, 23 RBIs. Our boy's right at 280, 279. Mullins, with 4 home runs, more runs scored than Blade. On base percentage at 391 because he walks a lot. He has a very good eye. It's a whole different.
Which is good in that situation.
It's a and he went on to go 4 for 7 in the next 2 games. It's a good sampling compared to the abysmal that he did in the first month. So you definitely jinxed him right.
Yeah.
Let's call it the JP.
He just did. It's a solid decision, but he just didn't come through in the moment.
He just didn't come through.
Yeah.
He's been mildly hot. And
you can make a case for that decision.
100%.
I'm still trying to figure out Chandler Simpson in the 3-hole or the 5-hole, but
yeah,
that one.
And then interestingly, he pushed Mullins into the 3-hole. And, for a couple of games, which is kind of weird. The way that Statty Seth, comes up with these analytics and lineups.
You consistently don't like that, right? I mean, where you're about. I mean, you're a 3-hole hitter. You're a 3-hole hitter. I think 3, 4, 5. You should never have a surprise who's in those slots.
I think with the tremendous trio, you should try to not. In fact, you should do everything in your power to keep them back to back to back, because that puts so much. Those are your best 3 hitters.
Yeah,
they're 3 of the better hitters in baseball.
Yeah,
they're RBI machines, right? Especially 2 of them. Junior had himself about a week to 10 days where he was mired in a little bit of slump. Thankfully, came out of it with that big jack. But he's got 32, 33 RBIs, 15 home runs, hitting around 270. He's scary, right? So why? I think when you can have 3 hitters in a row that are dangerous, that just changes a pitcher's. He gets no rest. You know what I mean? Yeah, even if a reliever comes in and those 3 are coming up, you can't take him out before he's got to face 3 batters. So those 3 batters for me need to stay together, preferably, if at all costs. And I know there's a righty-lefty type thing that they try to. One of the reasons that they do that mix and match is the righty-lefty combination, because statistically and analytic wise, if you can mix and match and have a righty, then a lefty, and righty-lefty, depending if it doesn't matter if it's a righty or a lefty on the mound. Right. So I get that, but those 3 and then move things around, okay. But I would not mess with whether it's 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4 when Yandy's hitting 4th, that type of situation. But overall, it was a disappointing weekend series. There's no doubt about it. I think they could have had that first game. Then they just got overmatched in the second game. A couple of guys that stood out for the Angels are guys that are going to be mentioned immensely in the trade deadline. That's Joe Adell.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's got he's doesn't have that many years in there, so he's controllable in the big picture of millions of dollars. Even though he does have arbitration.
Yeah, you wanted him in the offseason.
Yeah, but somebody's going to get that guy probably, right?
Yeah.
He's the poor man's Mike Trout, and they're not going to probably trade Mike Trout. You know what I mean? And his 30-something million for numerous years, for 4 years left. The other guy is Soriano. Their righty that all of a sudden has found a different level, a different gauge, because he was pretty much a mediocre pitcher throughout his first few years in the big leagues. Now all of a sudden, he found a nasty slider, and now he's pitching lights out. He's 8-4. I think that guy's going to be wanted by a lot of teams. Ironically, those are the 2 things that the Rays are looking for.
Yeah.
A power bat.
Could be doing some deals with the Angels.
A power bat and a frontline starter.
Yeah.
So that could be interesting. We'll see what develops in the coming weeks pertaining to the Angels, because I see Soriano, I see Sandy Alcantara, being those pitchers that are going to be sought after.
Yeah.
And arguably available.
And the Rays
Angels are going nowhere.
Right.
The Marlins, on the other hand, could be an interesting scenario, because the Marlins all of a sudden have gotten super hot, and they always feel like,
they can't be trading him now.
I don't think so.
They should not be.
It just
sellers.
Depends how the next 4 weeks go for them.
For that franchise to be taken seriously, you can't be a seller at this point. You cannot.
When have they been taken seriously in the last 20 years?
But you just this is a point where, especially in Miami, where they're front runners, and if they can start winning games, fans will show up.
Yeah.
But I think to piss it away right now would be foolhardy. But again, not a great.
They're sitting in the middle of the pack in a very close pack. They're 2 games out of the wild card as we speak, which is way too early to start figuring out the wild card and how things are going to match out. But they are a team that notoriously hangs in there I like their roster, so trading Sandy could be a difficult pull. They would ask for a lot in order to give up a Sandy Alcantara because look, last year they hung into the last week of the season. And oh, by the way, the 2 times they've won the World Series, how have they won it? By being a wild card. And
That's a good point.
97 and 2003, they were wild cards and they won. So don't rule out the Marlins scaring you when they go into a playoff as a wild card. So as far as the Rays, they've got a big series coming up. We'll talk a lot about that on the show. Anytime you go
Dodgers,
anytime you go into the Dodgers, we're gonna, just to tease it a little bit, so you guys come back on and on the Big O show with myself and JP, talk a lot about this $400 million discrepancy towards $100 million, but yet the Rays are 2 games behind the Dodgers.
Yeah,
in the standings per se, as far as record to record. The Rays are behind the Dodgers, not that far off in wins, total wins since like 2008 or something. This is a franchise that have done so much with so little, while the Dodgers, led by the owner Walters, is the highest, payroll in the history of baseball. 400 million plus. And we'll just break down maybe position by position. The biggest discrepancy, I think, is where the Rays are having arguably their biggest problem, and that's middle relief. Kelly and Baker's going to the All-Star game, and deservedly so. Kelly's doing through another couple, shutout innings. It's that middle relief.
Everybody else is just brutal.
Just been so up and down or injured, or on the IL.
Saw Manny Rodriguez got it up to 96.
Yeah,
the other day, but he hasn't started facing live hitters yet. But man,
there's
a
discrepancy. By the way, the Dodgers have a bullpen of several more, including the big boy Edwin Diaz are on the IL, but they spend this year a $51 million bullpen.
Jeez.
The Rays are a shade under 9.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
And when you look at the names and the potential thereof, that's where the Dodgers hang in a lot of games, and they end up beating you because they can hang in and nick you away with some solid middle relief.
All right, that'll be all in the Big O show coming up. Here's one last comment, or another comment from Kurt Thorson, who said, hey, we couldn't let us through a whole show without stadium talk, right? No news equals negotiations. I'd love for a deal to the CRA board altogether. Well, that may be the workaround that we talked about on Friday.
Yeah,
with Alan Clendenin, the city chair. And I went back and forth with some people over the weekend, and everybody's like, JP, you're like the violinist on the Titanic going down. I'm like,
damn,
you're the only one saying this deal is going to go through. And I continue to say, every one of these articles and the negative things that come up. John Romano did a column this weekend about, how this is bad for the people in Drew Park. And I'm like,
how? If anything,
a few people showed up at the CRA meeting the other day that voiced their concerns about stuff. And I'm like, for God's sakes, you've lived in a slum for 30 years.
This needs
someone's dropping $8 to $10 billion in your neighborhood. And you want to complain about it? And you want to write a column about it?
When they're not doing anything. If this doesn't go, what is the...
Can I just ask John Romano to do one column on the benefits? Like, just take off your negative. You probably won't be allowed to do so, but like one column on the benefits.
Yeah,
please.
I just
focused on,
not only the benefits.
I decided to just maybe for once look at what the good parts of this deal could be, and then name them and go through it. What could happen?
Well, when you think
would it be so hard?
You have 3 things. You have the good parts. Bring out the bad parts if you want.
Sure.
And then there's a third one. The indifferent, you don't do anything. What part does that play? Not just that. No, for the area.
Right.
So are you the state and the county's going to give you hundreds of millions of dollars?
Yeah. You think, by the way, the people that are bitching about this, you think the people are going to come fix it? They haven't done it in 50 years, but you think magically if we don't pass this, they're suddenly going to use this money to come fix that ain't.
By the way, I 2 things real quick. One, I know you're having the esteemed Dr. Ken Atwater tomorrow. So if you haven't already plugged that, that's going to be fun because you're going to have him tomorrow, I think, on the show.
Am I?
I believe you are. I think Dr. Ken. I got a call this morning from HC that Susie Holly told me that you're Dr.
Well,
Ken.
I guess we're having him on.
I think Dr. Ken. So we could
Good.
talk a little H.
I'll be notified today. Yeah.
Yeah, be notified. Number 2, you're not the violinist, bro. You're Leo DiCaprio.
I'm going down. I'm gonna drown. Is that what you're
Freezing, holding on.
Don't ever let go, Jack. Don't ever let go.
Don't ever let. That's me. I'll never
you,
let
Amon.
go. No, I'm just like I'm talking to the people that are in all the meetings. I'm talking to all the people that are doing the negotiating. I'm talking to Ken, and I know they're going to be a little bit more positive, but they're doing the actual stuff. The rest of the stuff that's out there in the ether, we poke holes in all of it. It's all negative shit, agenda-driven shit, all of it.
Yeah.
The facts say the negotiations are going on. The 2 MOUs have passed and are moving forward. Negotiations continue to go. The state has earmarked the money for Hillsborough. All the facts say this deal is getting done.
Right.
And you talk to Clendenin, he's positive it's going to get done. So you can read all the other stuff that's out there. It doesn't mean crap, honestly, when you're talking to Ostall and Hertak, and she's got FBI agents at the house. And it's like, look at everybody on that side and who they are and what they represent. And look at the people that are saying it's going to get done. Those are the people that build things, that are powerful, that get things done. So, again, pick your sides. But sure, there's a lot of negativity out there, but who's doing it? And what is their agenda? Look at that before you say it's all not going to happen. It might not happen. It's not 100%.
No. Listen, there's a better chance of that happening than the Cowboys winning the Super Bowl.
Damn right.
Amen.
Right. Or the Knicks winning. Wait. All right, Big O Show coming up here in just a few minutes.
have mercy on your soul!
I love that.
Just ended that.